everyone, this is Winnie or Miss Tang. Today we are learning to write the resolution of our story. So we are ready to write the ending. This is because we are resolving the problems and the complications in our story, and we are going to provide our reader with some closure and some sense of completion because this is the end. And we want to finalize any themes or main messages that we are trying to communicate in our story. For our success criteria today, we are going to be describing how the problem and complications have been resolved. We are going to describe the protagonist reaching their goal and show how our protagonist has transformed from the beginning to the end of our story. We are going to use adjectives, verbs, adverbs, and adverbial phrases, and we are going to include some figurative language such as similes, metaphor, and personification. There are actually other figurative language or language features in this narrative that we are writing. For example, hyperboles, allusion, idioms, and oxymorons, and onomatopoeia. So if you recognize any, then see if you can spot them. In our previous video, we have already planned for our resolution, so we are going to have that planning ready. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you a challenge. Your challenge is to have a look at the good, great, amazing, and fabulous version of the resolution and see if you can identify what is different between them. Fun fact, this narrative that I'm writing is actually the prequel to the book that my friend and I are writing called Amber's Pesky Plastic Problem. This narrative that we are writing right now is what happens with Amber before our book begins. I can't wait to share with you in some future videos our process of planning, drafting, writing, editing, revising, and publishing our book. The first thing we are going to do with our resolution is we are going to describe how the problem has been resolved. So over the course of our complications, we've had Viviana as the bully, and she has been bullying not only Amber but also other kids from the cheerleading team. Now we're going to describe how we are going to resolve this issue. So Amber has decided that she is going to let her dad and Mrs. Robinson know. Amber had been shaking like a leaf when she confessed to her dad and Mrs. Robinson. Her knee kept bouncing and her eyes watered. Afterwards, she felt the weight of the world lift from her shoulders. Both her dad and Mrs. Robinson had been shocked and saddened to hear the horrible comments Viviana had made to Amber. When Mrs. Robinson started investigating, it turned out that Amber was not the only one Viviana had bullied. It had just felt that way. Other students from different years came up to Amber to tell her how grateful they were that she spoke up. They had felt they were alone in the situation, but now they could also speak up about their own experiences. Amber spoke to the chaotic cats about being bystanders in a situation. She promised her team that she would stand up for them, and they promised the same for her. So you might have noticed that in that paragraph, I have added in some figurative language. So we'll see if you can figure out which type of figurative language I have used. So now we'll also need to talk about what happens to Viviana. Viviana was stripped of her school captaincy badge and was no longer on the cheerleading team. She was placed on probation and closely monitored by the teachers and students. They had one more practice before their first cheerleading competition, and Amber's stomach was fluttering. Mrs. Robinson called the chaotic cats over into a circle. "You've all worked really hard this year. No matter what happens, it will be the best day ever," squeaked Cindy, the youngest cheerleader on the team. She pumped her little fist in the air, almost hitting a surprised Elizabeth in the process. The team laughed and whooped in agreement. "As you know, we will need a cheer captain to lead us to victory. The nominations are in and the votes have been counted. Our cheer captain this year is someone who has remained positive in the face of challenges, worked hard, and supported their teammates." Amber held on to the hands of Elizabeth and Cindy sitting next to her. Cindy had her eyes squeezed shut. "This person has shown bravery. This person has inspired us to be kinder towards ourselves and others. She is a great role model. Your cheer captain this year is Amber McLeod." Amber was instantly crowded with hugs and congratulations. Mrs. Robinson beamed proudly at Amber. Clicks from a camera were heard in the school hall as Amber's dad rushed in wanting to capture capture every second of this moment. Amber stood with her chin high, shoulders back, and with a wide smile on her face as a cheer captain badge was carefully pinned on her shirt. She was on cloud 9. As Amber's teammates huddled around her for photos, she knew she was going to do everything she could to be the best captain and lead her team to victory. Yay! And there you have it. We have now described how the problem has been resolved. We have also described our protagonists reaching their goal of being a cheer captain. We have also shown how our protagonist has transformed from being really nervous and unwilling to speak up at the very beginning of the story, and now she's feeling a lot more braver, and she's also inspired other people to speak up as well. So we have also used adjectives, verbs, adverbial phrases, and adverbs to make sure that we describe what is happening in the story. And I have also included some figurative language in there, such as similes, metaphors, and personification, and some others as well. So see if you can spot those. All right, you ready for your challenge? Here we go. This is what a good resolution looks like. This is what a great resolution looks like. This is amazing. And we have fabulous. See if you can spot what the differences are. I will be sharing my ultimate guide to narrative writing in a link in the description down below. But wait, the story is not over yet. In the next video, I will be sneaking in a surprise cliffhanger. See you in my next video. Bye!